Well, I'm going to go through the key highlights as far as this quarter goes. So starting off with net sales, that's moved up by as much as 11.5%. And we've also seen a substantial expansion in operating margins, coming in at around 19.6% in comparison to 17.5%. And so what is it that's driving growth as far as the top line goes? Well, volumes coming in at a robust 11%. Do remember, we do have a decline of as much as 4% in the comparable quarter last year, largely on account of demonetization. But what is it that's driving volumes? Well, when it comes to personal care segment, it's brands such as Pears and Dove, and the home care segment, it is brands such as Vim. We have seen an expansion in margins, but this is largely on account of the company's cost-saving initiatives, no help coming in from raw materials costs, which have seen an up move. So if I actually compare the raw materials costs to the revenues, it stands at around 37% in comparison to 31% in the same quarter last year. So there certainly has been a big up move. The management spoke about inflation in input costs, and this is largely on account of crude-linked raw materials. So that could be a matter of concern as we move into the next couple of quarters. But when it comes to growth, the management is very positive with respect to improving volumes going in.
Okay. Raw material costs, any idea on how much more they could increase by?
Well, it'll completely depend on crude, but if crude continues to stay here, then, well, margins could see a contraction of anywhere between 100 basis points to 150 basis points from here.
How did they sound on rural growth compared to last quarter?
Very positive, and that's very, that's evident in the volumes that we've seen.
I thought one statement from the management stood out for me, and they said that they are seeing sequential recovery in the demand environment as a whole, and they believe that this will sustain. So if all the question marks raised about volume growth in the first half of the last calendar were a problem, they certainly seem to be squashing those notions about there being question marks on the demand and volume growth at least.
If I can put the volumes number into perspective,
sure.
Over the last 6-7 odd quarters, what we've seen is volumes continuing to remain within the 5% range.
Right.
Now, if you remove the decline of 4% in the previous comparable quarter, you still have an up move of 6%. So it's not just the base effect. The company has certainly seen an improvement in demand, and that's resulted into this uptick right now.